currently have a national challenge, and it's standing in seated areas, and that's why we're here today to discuss that and the implications of it. We at Peterborough United Football Club are in a slightly unique position in that we currently have 2 terraced ends, and as we're finishing our 3rd year in the Championship, those safe terraced ends that we currently enjoy, particularly the away supporters that come to us, have to go, and for next season they have to become all seated ends. So we've been debating this with our supporters for some time, and that is why I've had the opportunity, other than in my own footballing, roaming around Europe, that I went to Hanover recently with our safety advisory group and our city council, who are our landlords, to have a look at the option that is now available. Having seen it and all agreed that it met what we thought was a good idea, we are looking to offer ourselves as a trial club to have a look at it so that people can further understand the merits it has. Our supporters would like it. We as a football club support it. It will help going forward the challenges that our police and our own stewards have on a match-to-match basis, where it is deemed, I think we all appreciate that it's virtually impossible to get a stadia at any of our sporting venues for people to sit down for the whole term of whatever game's being played. We see when we're on the TV with Wembley, and when I've been there, the supporters at both ends stand for most of the matches. I was lucky enough to be at the Olympics this summer, where most of the people stood for a lot of the time in the seats that we were enjoying. I was also fortunate to be at the Rolling Stones concert a couple of weeks ago, where everybody stood and jigged around, a bit of dad's dancing for long periods. It is near on impossible to do. I've also been at the home of rugby and the home of cricket and watched people stand for extended periods. It's part of our sporting culture, and I just think what is available to us now is something different. I completely agree about the debacle at Hillsborough. It was a very tragic event, and I think what the Taylor report recommended at the time was probably right at that moment in time, but there's something new out there now. Just as we're on the cusp of having a look at goal line technology to further improve our sport and customer satisfaction, to put it gently, I think here is another option to look at our guests and customers and say to them, there's something else available out there now. I cannot understand why we wouldn't want to trial it, and that's what I'm talking about particularly today. Again, as I reiterated earlier, I've spoken to our supporter groups, who will probably account for 25 to 30% of our customers on a match day, that's home and away, who are very keen to be allowed to stand. Our terraced ends aren't just young idiots who want to jump up and down and scream and throw coins. We're very lucky at London Road. Our terraced ends are full of men, women, children, youngsters, senior citizens. They just prefer to stand, and I think we now have an option to do that. That's the case that Peterborough United are putting forward, and how we're looking.